Hello and welcome to the Chapter 8 Support Conversation video. What I have for you here will be 13 support conversations, pretty much gathered throughout the last couple of chapters since some of them were locked last time. Out of all of these, there will be 4 that are either starting and or ending for this. So let's go ahead and get into the first one, shall we?
Oh, you're awake. Don't worry, it's only been a few hours.
What happened? The last I remember, I was training some of our new recruits.
You got hit by some stray magic. Pretty hard, too.
Yes, that's right. How could I have let my guard fall so carelessly?
Probably the exhaustion. You usually sidestep stuff like that, no problem. Everybody was really worried about you, though. Dedue and Felix in particular didn't know what to do with themselves. Guess the silver lining is that it forced you to get some rest, if only for a few hours.
Apologies for causing such a disturbance. I'm fine now, I assure you.
Uh-huh, sure you are. I know you're just gonna get straight back to work if I leave you be. But hey, take a look around first.
The room is immaculate. Is this your handiwork?
Yep, though we left anything that seemed like it would need your input. Figured we could at least take care of the small stuff while you were out, though. Oh, and everyone, and I mean everyone, thinks you should be taking more breaks.
I'm certainly grateful for the gesture. But how did you find time for this amidst your other responsibilities?
It was easy once we split everything up. Felix, Dedue, and I wrapped up the training session in your stead. Then Rodrigue and Sylvain handled the rest of your paperwork. You might want to glance through it later, though. Ingrid tended to the horses, while Ashe and Annette helped organize all your books. Oh, and Mercedes baked some wonderful treats for you. They'll have you back on your feet in no time. What else? What else? Oh, right. We sent some soldiers to check on the nearby villages, too.
Incredible. I never expected you to do this much.
I'll boast a bit.
Well, the Blue Lions can be pretty dependable when we put our minds to it, huh? Maybe you can trust us a little more now that you've seen what we can do.
This isn't a matter of trust. I deeply depend on every single person in this army.
Then why didn't you tell anyone else about how you went and buried all those villagers? Everyone was stunned when I mentioned it to them. They want to hear about that stuff from your mouth, not mine.
Yes, My apologies.
If you're really sorry, then you won't let it happen again. Anyway, go get some more rest. And don't try to say you're not tired just so you can keep working.
I see I can't fool you. Though in truth, I doubt I'll be able to doze off again so soon after enjoying my first dreamless sleep in ages.
In that case, come kill some time with me. I'm sure the training grounds will be free by now.
Yes, that sounds lovely. And, thank you.
Dimitri needs to take it easy every once in a while.
Hey, Dedue. It looked like you were having some trouble out there during training today. All good?
It is not uncommon. Many soldiers do not think highly of me.
They don't. Why's that?
As you know, I am from Duskur. Relations with my home have improved now that His Majesty has taken the throne, but many still hold misgivings about fighting beside someone like me.
Question their distrust.
Really? I don't see why.
The tragedy of Dusker shook the entire kingdom to its core. And now I am among the royal guard, an honor often reserved for the children of nobles. As I am neither noble nor knight, many are displeased at my position.
Yeah, that kind of stuff always makes people jealous. I've got tons of rumors flying around about me, too. Not that I blame them. I was just a regular merc plucked off the street and into the officers' academy just because I happened to bump into Dimitri. All of it was a lucky break, if you ask me. Kinda natural it would get under people's skin.
True. We are both here due to happenstance involving His Majesty. It is in the nobility's instinct to resent us for claiming their rightful roles. Missing out due to sheer luck is cruel indeed.
I'm sure Dimitri's got his hands full balancing it all too. One wrong move and we could be faced with a full-on rebellion. But, you know, I think there's an easy way to solve this. We just have to prove we're both capable leaders, that we deserve people's support. It's like I said before, as long as we get results, trust and respect will follow. Even the biggest skeptics will have to throw their weight behind us if we can show we have what it takes.
Something you learned as a mercenary.
Yep. There was this thief we had in our company, real shady guy. Nobody trusted him. But he did his work just as well as anyone else. And before long, everyone had pretty much warmed up to him. After a year or so, even I was joking around with him like he was an old friend.
He won your trust.
Mm-hmm. Of course, we didn't know for sure he wouldn't just run off with all our stuff one night. But that's why people like you are so valuable. You know, people who keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
I see.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk your ear off.
No, I appreciate it. I will try to follow your advice.
Have the suspicious looking person looking out for suspicious activity.
Never thought I'd see the day you shut yourself in your room to read. I hear you've been pouring through every book on magic you can get your hands on.
Hey, I read sometimes. Anyway, I had this great idea I needed to do some research for.
I'm afraid to ask. Wait, what's that diagram?
A perceptive question. This here is a blueprint I came up with for a new kind of fire orb.
Really? You're talking about those flame-flinging siege weapons, right? Because that looks pretty small for a fire orb.
Well, that's the point. I want to make it so that our knights can carry one around as easily as they do their swords.
What would that accomplish? Knights don't have the training to use something like that.
Right you are. The wielder needs both special training and some natural magical ability to use one. At least that's the case with our current fire orbs. Which brings me to my main goal, making it so that anyone can use them, no matter their background. I mean, think about the havoc we could wreak if your average knight or myrmidon could also blast out some fire magic whenever they wanted.
I'll agree.
That's actually a great idea, Sylvain. I bet we could come up with some amazing battle strategies with those things.
Right? I knew you'd see the light. Either way, it won't be ready anytime soon. I'm not sure when I'll finally be done with it, honestly.
If you don't hurry, the war will be over before you're finished.
Battle's not the only place it'll come in handy. People who don't have any other training could use it for self-defense.
Huh. Come to think of it, that's the same reason you were so interested in my sword.
Yeah, because it just pops up out of nowhere.
Does this have to do with House Gautier? I know your family's been dealing with Shreng for years now.
Yeah, more or less. We've gone through some pretty tough times. My father's first wife, Miklon's mom, she died in a Shreng raid. We've managed to hold the border for about 100 years now thanks to the Lance of Ruin. But they keep pushing our limits. frankly, I admire their determination.
It did seem like Margrave Gautier was pretty used to fending off their attacks.
It's not like he's had much choice. Once I inherit his title, I'll keep doing whatever I can to hold them off. But it's going to be tough without a stronger military. If the king had forces of his own, he could send them in at a moment's notice whenever we were in trouble. Problem is, the last king already tried something like that. It ticked the local lords off to no end.
Makes sense. If the king grows stronger, everyone else loses a little bit of their own influence in comparison. Anyone would have a hard time swallowing that.
I'd say it's worth it if it means the kingdom won't descend into chaos. Whatever the case, any reforms we enact will need to be peaceful and well-founded. Which is exactly why I want us to be able to fight on our own, without having to rely on our relic or on other lords.
Wow, Sylvain, you actually sound like a real heir now. It's a nice change from all the skirt chasing you used to do.
Hey, the future of my house is on the line here. Even the laziest guy in the world would be worried about that. Sure, the kingdom might be a half-frozen stretch of dirt, but it's my half-frozen stretch of dirt. And it's the only home I've got.
Home, huh?
Who knew that Sylvain was an idea guy? It's really surprising to me, since I went through 3 houses and I don't think he was really like this.
It's horrible!
Bernadetta, what's wrong? Is there a rat in the base?
Wait, a rat? Nobody told me about a rat! Oh no, oh no, oh no! It's gonna nibble on all my snacks!
Sorry, I think I kind of threw you off track there. What's horrible exactly?
Well, you see, there was this lady in the camp earlier who didn't look scary at all and even seemed kinda nice.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Shyness and fear of strangers got you down, huh? Let's see if I have something that can help.
Thanks.
Of course it's Anna.
I think I've got just the herb. It's gonna put you out a good few gold coins, but this baby will do wonders for relieving stress. And then... I've got something a little more, shall we say, tasteful. Real under-the-table kind of stuff. It's a pot that makes people like you. I would probably recommend against it, but the thing's on sale if you really want it. You okay there?
I just remembered something. Oh, how could you forget, Bernie? There are lots of scary people out there who pretend to look nice just so they can prey on you. And you must be one of them!
Well, that was weird. I'm not that scary, am I?
Of course not.
And that's how it all happened. I would have been dragged off and murdered if it wasn't for you.
But wasn't that just Anna? She's here all the time selling her wares. I mean, not all of it's the most reputable stuff, but I don't think she's trying to cheat anyone. And she's definitely not a murderer. This is all my fault. I should go apologize to her later.
Huh? She's not evil?
Not that I know of. I'm also pretty sure it's not the first time you've met her.
I don't know. I'm bad with faces.
You're pretty judgmental, you know that?
Huh?
What do we do? What do we do? How about this? There's this merc I've got in my crew. A real terrifying looking hunk of muscle. Sweetest little teddy bear on the inside, though. If anyone's gonna help you overcome this, it's him.
Okay, I accept this challenge. You've got this, Bernie!
Challenge accepted for Bernie.
That reminds me, I actually found myself at a noble's tea party not too long ago.
Oh, you must be talking about Sylvain, right? Probably had something to do with the woman?
No. It happened while I was doing some work as a bodyguard. The nobles who threw the party even gave me a cup of tea to show their appreciation. I didn't really know what to make of it, though. Hard to say if it was even good or bad.
Understandable. Settings like that tend to choke the flavor out of any food or drink you happen to come across, among other things.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm built for all that fancy stuff. Hey, remember when I asked you to sing for me? You belted out a verse from one of your operas? It kinda reminded me of that tea. It's like, I just don't have the background for that sort of stuff. If you don't grow up in it, you're not gonna get it.
Everyone has a right to those things, though. Taking in a tragic opera, letting an elegant meal dance across your taste buds. Nobody should be excluded from those pleasures just because they were born a commoner.
Also just a counterpoint. Mainly because it's basically it's either acquired taste or just taste in general.
I'm not so sure that's how it works, though. Take my time back as a mercenary. I would have gladly eaten a half-cooked rat if it meant I was getting food in my belly. It's only since I joined up with this army that my palate's become a little more discerning. But what I'm saying is, if you never have the chance to eat good food, then you'll never know what good food is supposed to taste like. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but...
In that case...
Dorothea?
Oh, sorry. I got a bit caught up in my thoughts there. But I think it might be just as you say. Will you indulge me for a moment?
Sure. What's on your mind?
When I first started singing, I did it for me. Only me. But it wasn't long until Manuela discovered my gift. So, I joined the opera company. It felt... incredible. I wanted the whole world to hear my singing. But once I became a songstress, I started attracting more and more attention from the nobles. Before I knew it, I wasn't singing for myself anymore. I was singing for them.
To get their approval.
Now you can't even appreciate my songs if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Try to cheer up.
That might be true, but like I said, that isn't necessarily a bad thing. So many people would kill to be able to do what you can do. So don't belittle yourself like that. Your singing is incredible, Dorothea.
I appreciate that. I really do. But I still can't help but wonder.
Yeah, that one goes pretty deep. It's like I'd probably go more into it, but I don't really have the time. But it's pretty much a really deep conversation. Just thinking about it.
You must rest, Your Majesty. These late hours will only undermine your health.
I appreciate your concern, but I fear sleep eludes me after our last battle. No need to wait for me to do, or to worry. I'll rest when I find a suitable stopping point.
You said the same the other day, then worked until the break of dawn.
I should know better than to argue when you get like this. Very well. I'll rest once I know these documents contain no errors. And if you assist me, it will go all the faster.
This is written in the language of Duscar. Is it a letter to the leadership?
Yes. I'd asked their cooperation in investigating a number of matters pertaining to the tragedy of Duscur. Some interim reports arrived the other day, so I'm thanking them for those and requesting a further investigation into another matter.
I see. Such important tasks warrant daylight. Can this not wait until morning?
And what if I fall in battle tomorrow and the work remains forever unfinished? I must do all that I can while I still draw breath. I will uncover the truth of that day and exact revenge for the dead. I swear it. There's no time to waste. After all, it doesn't appear resolving this issue will be as simple as just setting all the perpetrators to meet their end.
All the more reason to rest and preserve your health.
My rest and health can wait. At least until I've looked through these inquiries into the Western Front. And I should put in some training before I sleep, to make up for all this desk work.
Do you still have nightmares of that day?
You remember then? I'm surprised. I've not mentioned them in years. I used to summon you to my room under the pretense of keeping you safe from the others in the castle. Then I'd have you listen to me babble until sleep finally claimed me.
I've always been grateful for the consideration you showed.
It was my own selfishness, nothing praiseworthy.
Well, if sleep still evades you, I would be happy to lend an ear.
That would only succeed in exhausting us both. We have an early start tomorrow, so please, get some rest. I know you will once again implore me not to overextend myself. But I assure you that I know my own limits better than anyone.
At least let me bring tea before I depart.
That would be wonderful to do. And apologies for always putting you through so much trouble.
Take a break, Dimitri.
No, Annette! Get back!
That was a close one. Good thing we had water nearby.
My apologies. It was foolish for me to attempt that without prior experience.
No, it was my fault for asking you to try and light it with magic.
The fault is mine alone. You had no way of knowing that my aptitude for magic was so lacking. And we were lucky it only resulted in a small explosion. Had the flames spread, it easily may have proved disastrous.
Aw, don't beat yourself up over it. We were able to put it out quickly, and that's all that matters.
What a remarkably positive spin on the matter. Still, I'm relieved you weren't hurt. I have always been abysmal at magic. My father and grandfather were the same, so perhaps I inherited it from them.
Yeah, I guess you're better suited to fighting with something sharp and pointy.
Actually, I had a fair amount of interest in becoming a mage when I was a boy. An old friend of mine would give magic demonstrations, and I always found myself terribly jealous of her abilities.
Well, you know there's a school of sorcery in the capital, right? You definitely should have enrolled.
But I knew they only accepted students who display at least a modicum of talent for the craft. Every time I glimpsed one of those students, I found myself envious of their skill.
I had no idea. But hey, if you're interested, how about I teach you a bit? We can start right now.
You would do that?
Sure. See, I've been helping out at the school ever since I came back to the capital. And after talking with everyone there, I've been thinking it would be fun to, you know, teach somebody. I'd like to help people get better at magic, even if they're really, really, really bad at it.
A fine aspiration. If you'll have me, I would be honored to be your first pupil. Though I imagine your skills can be put to use helping many people besides just myself. I know I am not the first person, nor will I be the last, to accidentally conjure up an explosion.
Come on, Dimitri. It's not like I'll be that much help. But regardless, I'm confident that becoming a teacher is the path for me. Right then, Your Majesty. Let's start by practicing some fire magic.
But why though?
You want me to cast the same spell again? Well, if you think it best.
Fire spells are the most basic magic of all. You just let the old power build up, and then boom, let loose. Okay, so start by using your hands to focus your energy.
Like this?
Don't be so hesitant. We've got plenty of water here, so really lean into it.
I wasn't intending to hold back. Perhaps I could charge it up a bit more.
Ah! Your Majesty, are you all right?
I fear we may have a long road ahead of us.
Oh, well, said they started with fire because it's the basic starting point, I suppose. I mean, but wind, it's like that would be easier, right? I think that was our only conversation.
Ashe, you've come at the perfect time.
Why is that? Oh no, am I interrupting?
Not at all. In fact, I'd like you to try this tea.
Sure. Did you create this blend yourself?
I did. Your talk of medicinal herbs inspired me to study them. I created a number of different brews, thinking I might find one suitable for His Majesty. But first, I would like your opinion on the quality.
Taste testing, is it? I'd be happy to help. Oh, this tastes like...
Yes? How do you find it?
Dedue, what did you use in this?
The same flour you gathered before, mixed with some other herbs, then steamed. I read that doctors in the capital frequently concoct a similar blend. Does it not suit your tastes?
No, I love it. It actually reminds me of something. Of course! This is what Lonato used to give me when he first took me in.
Lord Lonato used to brew this tea.
He sure did. Wow, this really takes me back. I wasn't born into a noble family, so when I started living with Lonato, I had no idea how to act. I was nervous as anything at first, but I'd always calm right down the moment I drank his tea.
I did read that this tea is useful for calming nerves. Perhaps he was trying to make you feel at home.
That sounds like him. I was pretty young at the time, so I never knew what kind of tea it was. But this definitely has the same flavor. Strange to think I've been in the capital for 2 years now and never came upon it again until today. I wonder if Lonato ever served this tea to Grand Duke Rufus.
He never said?
No, I guess the two of them had a falling out a long time ago. He never really talked about his time in the capital. But I think he started studying herbs as a way to help the Grand Duke. Just like you're studying them to aid His Majesty.
It's possible.
Anyway, thank you, Dedue. That really hit the spot. Hey, would you teach me how to brew it sometime? I'd love to let everyone else try it.
Yes, of course.
A tea connoisseur. But that ends their support conversations.
Oh, this one is really pulling the line.
It must be our monster. Time to put what you practiced into action.
Yes. I am no longer the clumsy novice you slipped away from before, foul fish! It's not working! What do I do?
Don't give up. Play your line out a little, and let the fish tire itself out.
Like... this?
Yeah, that's good. Now wait. Wait. Now! Pull as hard as you can! Flayn, look out!
We did it, Ashe! Oh, I can scarce believe I managed to capture the beast!
Yeah, that was close. I thought the fish was going to catch you there for a second.
Yes. I might have gotten a bit carried away there. Had you not grabbed my arm when you did, I might be swimming in the river myself.
I'm glad I could help. Seriously glad. And hey, I'm amazed you managed to hang on to the pole through all that.
I told myself I would not let go, no matter what.
Hold on there, Flayn. You have to let go sometimes. None of this is worth putting yourself in danger over. I think I'm starting to see why Sedith doesn't let you go fishing. Still, you never would have caught that fish without that fierce determination of yours.
Mother taught me to always see tasks through to the very end. But even she never fished up anything so large as this. And though she is no longer around, I would like to think she would be very proud of me.
So that's why you're so interested in fishing. Well, I think this was great, and I'm sure your mother would be proud.
Goodness, you do know how to compliment a lady. Still, I promise to surrender my pole if I ever find myself in this kind of situation again.
Well then, why don't we haul this thing back?
Yes, and then we can feast on the spoils of our victory. I wonder what it tastes like. I can't wait to find out. But, I cannot even fathom how best to prepare such a fish. We could slice it up and fry it, or boil it with vegetables, or... there are so many choices!
This has been so much fun. Flayn really reminds me of my sister. She was always so eager to practice in the kitchen when she was little too. Hold on. Flayn, in a kitchen. Hey, wait up! Let me help you!
Then the kitchen was destroyed. And that ends our support conversations.
Dorothea! Dorothea!
Hello, Flayn. What's got you in such a frenzy?
Is it true that you were a diva in Enbar? And that you were praised as having a mystical voice?
I hope I'm more than just my voice, but that's all essentially true, yes?
Then I would beg a boon of you. Would you give me... a singing lesson?
Of course. But where is this coming from?
Well, you see, sometimes the soldiers all break out into song. And when they do, I always find myself wanting to join in. Their voices hold such grand aplomb. But the only songs I know are dreadfully old. So, I had hoped that you might instruct me as to the popular songs of modern soldiers.
Is that so? Well, I'd be more than happy to help. In recent years, a new musical style has come into fashion, one involving challenging songs with many overlapping parts. Why don't we start with a little vocal warm-up? Repeat after me.
Certainly, Professor Dorothea.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. My, I feel as if I have become quite good at singing.
power of song is certainly remarkable. It is as if I have been revitalized from the very core of my being.
I agree. Songs can be very empowering indeed. In fact, I recently heard an old tale about how a song once ended a war.
Truly? I have never heard this tale. Would you mind regaling me with it?
Sadly, I don't know much more beyond that. I'll do some digging, but the person I heard it from wasn't too familiar with the story. Try not to get your hopes up, okay?
Oh, I see. Perhaps my brother might.
Hmm?
Oh, it is nothing. Since you will be looking into it, I shall do a bit of digging as well. If I learn anything, I will be certain to tell you.
So Flayn got herself a singing coach in Dorothea.
That was quite the sigh. What's the matter, Sylvain?
Oh, nothing. Well, except there's a guy in my unit who keeps acting up, and I'm not sure what to do.
You don't say.
I don't think I like the face you're making.
Let me ask, just to be sure. Is this mysterious troublemaker, in fact, you?
Hey, I've changed. I swear I have. But no, it's not me. It's one of my knights. He keeps walking around breaking stuff and getting into fights, and I'm spending all my time apologizing for it.
So you finally understand how I felt. You know, I never thought this day would come. You really have changed, Sylvain. Perhaps this warrants a celebration.
Then you better bring your purse because I'm ordering 2 of everything. Seriously, Ingrid, you don't have to sound that impressed. With school suspended and the war raging, we've all had to adapt to changing circumstances. Felix and Dimitri both succeeded their fathers, and are now burning the candle at both ends, right? I can't go around causing trouble with unending scandals when I'm supposed to be the mature one of the bunch.
It is wonderful to see you turn a new leaf.
I told you to stop sounding so impressed. Ugh, I suppose I had this coming.
I am sorry, Sylvain. I was only teasing. Think of it as payback for everything you put me through. Still, not having to clean up after you has been a real weight lifted from my shoulders.
Yeah, I was a handful in my wild days, but looking back, I really appreciate everything you did for me.
In that case, you should make the change permanent so you never cause trouble for anyone again. Though, honestly, I do not really know what to do with myself now that I am not spending all my time apologizing for you. Frankly, I was convinced you were useless without me.
Sorry. Again.
Please, no. You gave me experience I'd never have gotten otherwise. If I were truly miserable, I would have abandoned you to the wolves long ago. Besides, it wasn't all bad. You were the one who finally coaxed me from my room after Glenn's death, remember?
Okay, I'm confused. Do you want me to go back to being a huge flirt, or...?
Don't be ridiculous.
Figured.
As you said, we have all had to adapt to changing circumstances, which means we cannot cling to the past forever. You and I are no exception. It is merely a touch sad to come to the realization.
They both learn from each other's mistakes, I think. Yeah. Let's go with that.
It's fine, we're fine. Everything's fine here. Just gonna grab it and run right back out.
Good evening, Annette. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
Oh, Ingrid, it's just you. Sorry about that.
Guess I'm a little jumpy right now.
Don't worry, it's fine. But if I may, what are you doing out here so late at night?
I forgot my book in the mess hall and came back to grab it.
What a coincidence. I was also headed to the mess hall to look for something.
Oh, yay! Then we can go together. Seriously, I'd feel so much better if you were with me.
Not entirely sure why that's the case, but okay.
She's afraid of the dark.
Oh gosh, it's so dark. Ah! What was that? I think it came from the grass over there.
Probably just another night owl. I wonder if it's... Annette, stop! You're going to run into that pile of...
Ow! Who put these crates here?
Crates. Oh, Annette.
Well, that was quite the ordeal, but we finally made it. Thanks, Ingrid.
I'm glad nobody got hurt, aside from you and those crates. But if I may, Annette, are you afraid of the dark?
Yeah, actually. I've been afraid of it my whole life. I'd give anything not to be, but I just can't seem to shake it. What about you, Ingrid? Aren't you scared? I mean, a ghost could pop out of anywhere and ghost you.
The dark does not really bother me, no. And as I have never seen a ghost, I'm not afraid of them.
But doesn't it scare you to think about it? I mean, just imagine some icky dead person rising from the earth and coming at you with big, chattery teeth.
Certainly, we had such stories back home in Galatea. My brothers loved to tell them when I was a child. But if they were true, we would not be able to walk to breakfast without bumping into a horde of the dead.
Huh. Yeah, I suppose that's true. But it's still hard to get the idea out of my head.
I personally think it would be wonderful if the dead became ghosts and we could see them again. But when people die, that's it. We can't see or speak to them ever again.
Yeah, when someone dies, they're gone forever. But that's all the more reason to treasure what little time we get, right?
Agreed. We have only one life to live after all.
In that case, I'm gonna walk back all by myself.
Are you sure? We went through quite the struggle just to make it here.
If I want to conquer my fears, I'd better do it while I'm alive. The dark is still pretty terrifying, but I'm gonna push through it.
I could learn a thing or two from her optimism. We only live once.
YOLO. Who put those boxes there?
I have exhausted most of the Pegasus Corps, so how should I advance the mounted units on the ground?
A tricky proposition indeed. The enemy general won't be foolish enough to miss a chance to seize the advantage here.
If we are going to face the enemy with our remaining troops, it would be best to have the mounted units take up formation in the narrow pass to the east. Then, the remaining Pegasus Knights can attack from the cliffs above and end this quickly. Still, my scouts claim there may be archers stationed on those cliff tops.
Naturally. Everyone knows to expect Pegasus Knights as soon as they see the standard of Galatea. The enemy will doubtless be ready for this.
Yes, it is quite the predicament. I cannot help but wonder what my father or brothers would do. As someone who commands an army of Galatea, withdrawal is not an option.
I don't think you need to rack your brain over this too hard, Ingrid.
But if we fight without any sort of strategy, we will suffer major casualties.
Which might prove to be in your favor. If the enemy sees your back to the wall, they may let their guard down and grow reckless. How many Pegasus Knights stand ready?
Nearly half. Perhaps more if their wounds can heal in time.
Then select the most skilled from among them and make for the cliff tops.
And fly into the jaws of their trap?
While using the speed of the Pegasi to minimize injury, make it look like you're taking a desperate retreat. Then withdraw your troops. If the enemy thinks they've subdued the famed Pegasus Knights of Galatea, they'll deploy troops from their main fortress, leaving it lightly guarded. Once they do, send a separate unit of your remaining Pegasus Knights to capture it.
Yes, that just might work.
Unless they have archers there.
You are amazing, Lord Rodrigue. I suppose this comes from your wide range of experience.
Actually, it's a strategy suggested by your brother once upon a time.
My brother? Oh, that's right. I believe he served in Srang while he was still a squire.
Despite his low rank, he astonished us all with his clever suggestions for deploying our flying units.
I have a long way to go if I wish to live up to him. I must prove more diligent about studying strategy.
Very ambitious. My son could stand to learn a thing or two from your example. But you ought not overextend yourself. Make certain to rest those wings every once in a while. I wouldn't be able to face the Count or your brothers if I allowed you to work yourself to exhaustion.
Resting my wings is a rather difficult proposition. I can't very well run about playing games as I did when I was a child. In any case, I thank you very much for the advice. I think I know how to proceed now.
The pleasure is mine, Ingrid. This is a most dangerous strategy, so let's endeavor to make sure we both come out of this alive.
Talking strategy here. So those are all the support conversations I had for Chapter 8. There'll be a bunch, probably for the next chapter, since a lot of Shez's were locked. So I think some of those will probably open up. But next time we should be getting into the main quest for this chapter. So until then, I'll be seeing you.